This is Roger Struckoff of Syscon TV. This is our first interview here at CloudEXPO in New York in the year 2017, and it's very, very exciting because there's a lot going on here. Some of these technologies that we've been talking about for the last several years at CloudEXPO are becoming very mature. The floor is reflecting that, the program is reflecting that, the attendees are reflecting that, and we're excited. We're also excited to be joined right now by Bruno Andrade with HTBase. Bruno, welcome. Tell everyone what you do and why you're here.
Thanks. It's great to be here and the opportunity to present HTBase. We as a company, we focus on what we call composable infrastructure. Composable infrastructure has been ranked or named by companies like Gartner, of course, as the evolution of the IT infrastructure, where everything is now driven by software. So with that, we help clients build a private cloud environment with the same concepts that you see from a hyperconvergence perspective, but we break through the silo of the hardware, where we leverage existing hardware, existing storage appliances, we integrate with multiple vendors out there, and build our cloud strategy from a hybrid perspective. And one of the things we target a lot is your multi-cloud strategy. There's a lot of talk about multi-cloud, but companies are targeting more as a hybrid kind of an orchestration, where you spin up VMs and applications everywhere. What we believe is, and our platform does, is we allow clients actually to build a single platform between AWS, Google, Azure, and your private infrastructure, where you can now move unmodified workloads between your private infrastructure and cloud vendors, and between cloud vendors as well.
Somebody today was speaking about Composable, and he claimed that HP kind of made the term popular. Whether you agree with that or not, what is it that motivated you to go in this direction?
I love HP doing that, because it's great having such a big company out there claiming and helping push the methodology, but we believe composable infrastructure should not be locked into a specific appliance or into a specific rack. And we believe it should be across actually multiple clouds and not only in your private infrastructure. So we have different methodologies, I would say, different way of delivering the application, but we just love having them pushing a composable infrastructure, I would say.
Yeah, I'm thinking, a few years ago we were talking about public versus private, and the idea of hybrid came along, and then people really realized that there's multiple clouds in every organization. Would you say that when you use the term composable, that the word flexible could not maybe be used instead, but is similar? Is it flexibility sort of the idea?
So it is. So the idea of composable is abstracting the resources from every hardware. So it's even abstracting the resources from AWS and Azure. So every storage, compute, and everything that you have there, you're bringing it all together with your private environment. And when you deploy applications or virtual machines, it doesn't really matter where they go. They consume resources from everywhere. So if you think of cases like AWS went down a couple months ago in the East region. A lot of companies basically had their business off, and that can be catastrophic for businesses. If you have such solution that abstracts from everywhere, your applications would actually come back in your private infrastructure automatically or be moved to another public cloud provider that have integrated. So we call it flexible, but I think it goes really beyond your private infrastructure only.
Where do you get involved with customers as they're planning, as they're deploying, as they're operating, as they're planning again, all of those?
We find customers in different stages. Majority of them are actually trying to find better ways to move more and more workloads to the cloud, but then how do you optimize? Because then there comes cost, and then comes the people perspective, learning a new cloud, moving your workloads to the new cloud. So I think that's the majority of customers where we find them from a state perspective.
Are these in any particular industry, or are they sort of across section?
We've been working with clients in different industries today, but what we see is the larger the organization today, the more cloud vendors they use, and trying to compensate for cost or maybe performance or maybe functionalities. We've seen clients using as much as like 3 cloud vendors plus their private infrastructure, which are all completely isolated from each other. So the larger the customer, I think the more complex the environment we've found.
It's not getting simpler. How do people find you online? How are they going to find you and learn more about you?
No, that's great. They can definitely find us on www.htbase.com or contact@htbase.com, and we can definitely engage on deeper conversations.
Bruno Andrade, htbase.com. Thank you much for joining us. Thank you for watching. For Syscon TV, this is Roger Struckoff.